Welcome to This Week in Lebanon Warriors Sports here on the all-new LebanonWarriors.com and ESP Media powered by Sidearm Sports. I'm Jason Griefer. As always, we're joined by Lebanon AD Keith Pantling. Keith, good to have you back. Had to take a week last week off, but good to see you again. How are things up in Lebanon?
Busy time of year. We got playoff football. We got golf and who else is out there today? Golf and tennis are out there today. I'm hoping to swing by there here shortly, but just keep chipping away. Happy to be in the postseason, and kids are still having fun and enjoying themselves. So we're just got off the football meeting, and we're heading to Mason on Friday, which I'm sure we'll get into. But
yep,
it's an exciting time.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's start right there. And we'll talk about Mason here in a second, but I also want to talk about how your team performed to close out the regular season. A very impressive win to finish out the regular season, and dispatching of Little Miami 41-7, and in doing so, you hold Little Miami to 90 total yards of offense, which is spectacular and a really good way to go into the playoffs. You know, we talked a couple of weeks ago, you know, in and around that Kings game, which we broadcast on WatchHSSports.tv about, you know, at times how the defense would would rise to the occasion, then that some struggles would hit them. How big was it for this defense and really to lift the entire team to perform like this and hold a Little Miami team that put over 50 on the board against Loveland a couple of weeks ago? You hold them to 90 yards. How big is that for them, especially going into the playoffs against Mason? Yeah,
I think across the board, I think the team just played tremendous complementary football, really, in all three phases. But the defense, I was really happy for them. I know Coach Hop had been pushing that they needed to improve their game. Just knowing that the type of offense we have and that, you know, where we're comfortable in terms of scoring each week, that our defense really needed to step up, and we need to create some more depth and just get guys, you know, just playing complementary football, keeping them off the field and keeping them fresh. And, you know, the offense's success also helped out the defense, and the defense helped the offense. So, but you look at the defense and just grinding it out all year. Eric West, Seth Myers had that pick six. Mason DeGeneiro is just all over the field. He's banged up, as you could imagine, playing in the middle of the field in this league, and just keeps grinding it. And Parker Dilhoff and all those guys. They don't get a lot of publicity, but they are the guys that make that thing go. And I thought they played great Friday night.
But you knew the matchup, what it was going to be in the playoffs before the Little Miami game. You knew you were going to take on Mason in the playoffs before the Little Miami game. So the matchup was already set. What was your reaction when the draw came out? Because I'm looking at this thing, and in my opinion, I didn't see you guys as a 13 seed. I thought you guys should have been up a little bit higher. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I kind of thought we'd be somewhere in there just because there's so many GMC teams in Division I that were probably voting for each other. But if you look at it, I know Coach Kastner over at Mason, great coach. He actually had Lebanon around number 10, I believe, in his poll, which obviously shows that he has a lot of respect for us. And we also, you know, there's not a large body of work through 5 games, and we had a very, very tough schedule there, a tough stretch of those 4 games that didn't go our way. But I think if you look at it, you know, and they obviously had a tough one with Lakota West this past week. But had we voted again this week, this is more of a, you know, maybe a 7-10 matchup instead of a 4 versus 13. So, you know, I think we knew we were going to get a tough team. I mean, you look who's up there. It's St. X, it's Colerain, it's Mason, and we just got to move on to the next week and do our thing. Try to get better each week, which I think they did on Friday. But, you know, I don't want to say that it's a familiar foe because we haven't played that much, but they are a neighboring community, and coming from the GWalk, where we probably compare them to a Springboro who they play every year. Our kids are used to playing them every year. So, you know, I think we kind of like where we're at, and we're just excited to be playing some postseason football. There's kind of a buzz in the air this morning.
And we'll certainly be seeing how that goes. And, you know, if you're able to knock off Mason, which we certainly hope that's the case here, you would take on the winner of Colerain and Milford in round 2. But let's take care of Mason first, and then we'll worry about that next week. Let's move on to cross country. They're in action this coming weekend, but I can't not bring up Faith Duncan because she just doesn't stop doing what she's doing out at Lakota East. She now is the number one time in the state after
Yep.
with a 1750 run. It's also a minute faster than anybody else in the ECC at this point. You know, we've talked about here on the show and how great she has been for the program. Even with that said, did she see this type of a run coming where she could go out and put a better time than anyone else in the state? And going forward, does that add more pressure onto her, or does that even phase her?
I don't think it phases her. Just her being around, she's actually an office aide here for a period a day or 2 periods a day here in the main office. And she's just, she's a breath of fresh air. She's so positive. She loves what she's doing. She's just great to be around. I think she just wants to improve every day. She just has a tremendous work ethic and really enjoys it. And I don't think she puts any pressure on herself. She just wants to go and try to improve. She just loves running. She puts the extra time in and does everything she needs to do. It kind of comes natural, and you can kind of gain some momentum and some drive and ambition when you're successful at something. So it's just very easy for her to just keep chipping away and grinding. But when you talk about cross country, it's hard to, because I knew we were going to end up talking about Faith again, but the depth of this program is just
yeah.
I wanted to make sure I mentioned some of the others, because I think we're up now 8 girls in the top 25 of the ECC, with Hope Carr, Grace Glassmeyer, who's a sophomore that also plays soccer, Riley McKinney, Abby Taylor, Lila Moeller, Alina Wilson, and Teresa Olding, all in top 25. So we talked about it before, just the way they push each other.
Yeah.
And just, continue to see great results. The coaching staff across the board, everything's going really well for them. But they're up to number 9 in the state, but it's a tough district in terms of those that are ranked ahead of them in the Southwest. There's still 6 teams from our area ranked ahead of them. So they're still working hard, and they got big goals and aspirations that they'll keep trying to achieve.
Well, and you look at the leaderboard, like you said, you got 8 of the top 25, and a lot of those young ladies put up their best times at this Lakota East Invite. Yes, obviously, Faith did what she did, but it wasn't just her. Everybody else seemed like they were nipping at her heels, trying to get their times up as well. How do they feed off of each other when not only following Faith's lead, but then Faith seeing them also improving their times going along?
Yeah, it's all about the collaboration, connectivity, and being a great team. I mean, as much of an individual sport that it is, they're always together. They're always, whether it's stretching, doing whatever. I mean, they're just a galvanized group. It's really fun to watch. So I'm excited to continue watching them, and glad we're in the postseason there. On the boys' side, though, too, I mean, they're now up to 14 in the state, and they're 5th in the Southwest. And they had 5 runners in the top 25, led by sophomore JD Flagg and Joey Shoop's up there, Jesus Trejo, Calvin Kilgallen, Nick Armentrout. So they're deep as well. So it's just great to see. And they're not all seniors, they're not all juniors, they're all different grade levels. And that's how you build a program. There's just a lot of kids pushing each other, and a lot of great stuff happening.
Are both these teams peaking at the right time, given the fact the ECC championships are right around the corner?
I think so. Yeah, they kind of took this past weekend off, which I think was intentional. They did a little time trial senior day event Saturday morning here at the stadium, but they'll head to Ross this weekend. But I think they're very calculated in how they do things. So they know what they're doing. I don't know how it all works, to be honest, but I think they know what they're doing, and we'll continue to see great success. Yeah,
no doubt. You mentioned postseason upon us. Tennis team, you talked about that. They're in action. They've got the sectionals. I mean, up at Centerville, that is. And so
yeah, I got a few texts already that we have a few victories under our belt. So I'm excited to get out there and watch the girls.
Well, we like to hear that, and we appreciate the live update here on the show. So off to a good start there. Was that the expectation coming in that they would go out and immediately start claiming wins?
Well, Coach Zembeck just wanted them to just go out and just do what they can. It's a tall task to go into these sometimes if you're not experienced in competitive tennis and stuff, where these events can be a little overwhelming with all of these, the wide range of talent and just so many teams and elite players there. Just go out and
Yeah.
do what you can do and try to get some personal bests in terms of, whether it be, just the way you're performing, just do better than you did the last time out. And they've made great strides since the beginning. And then boys golf's also out at Yankee Trace today. So no update there yet, but you know how it is. They're chipping away, and we'll see how they end up.
Well, let's talk about that there, because they've had a really nice season, in the first year in the ECC, and as you said, they're out at Yankee Trace there. They've got to, as a team event, you've got to finish in the top 4 to move on, and they've been really right there, 3-4 spot in the league all year long. So the potential is there. Would it be a disappointment if they don't advance on to the districts as a team? I know you want to get individuals through, and that's possible if the team doesn't get advanced. But would it be a disappointment if the team doesn't get through?
I think if you ask them, probably. But, I know we're in a very tough league. I know that these guys have all been really working hard to improve what they're doing. So I wouldn't say from my vantage point, but I know they would certainly probably be disappointed if they don't get through the sectional. But, they're a great group, and I'm confident in their ability. They'll get through today.
Over on the girls' side, it's postseason action for them too. Of course, you get the win over Clinton Massey last week to close out the regular season. So good note there. Yeah, I think we've touched on this in the past as well with the girls. This is also a pretty young roster. You don't have a lot of veteran experience. Maybe just a couple of seniors on this roster heading into the postseason. Does that maybe in a way temper expectations for Coach Russell, or does it even matter at this point? Or do they just go out there and just kind of throw everything out that they have and play, I don't want to say with reckless abandon, but just play loose and play aggressive?
I think she takes a very individual approach, just with whether it be age, whether it be whether they're involved in competitive golf outside of high school, whether they're different parts of their game are better than others. The way that they approach kind of competitive events like this, I think Coach does a very good job of customizing the approach, and then the team score can come together based on each of them reaching their potential. So I don't think it's necessarily a rah-rah, locker room speech to the team. I think she does a very good job of getting the best out of each of them.
Does that youth even matter at this point in the season? We hear so often, like when you're getting late in the year, like, for like a freshman, they're no longer a freshman because the regular season, they've had so much experience. Is that kind of the same mantra with Coach Russell, that yes, I have a young team, but they've been through enough golf now to where they should be prepared?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think, like our youngest golfer there is Riley Johnson, who we've talked about before, and she's played so much competitive golf that I don't think age matters as much. I mean, this is just another tournament on her, on her on her long busy schedule. But so I think it's just kind of like I said, a customized approach. But I think once they're out there, grade don't matter. It's it's you and the course and your golf ball.
And that's what we hope to see some get through there into the next round for both the boys and the girls into the districts. Let's move on to the pitch, and girls soccer's regular season winding down. You've got matches this week in West Claremont in there. They're playing pretty well right now. Won 2 of the last 3, sitting tied for 3rd in the league. And it's been interesting to watch this team, because this has been a very battle-tested team. Virtually every match has been decided by either 1 or 2 goals that could go either way. Given that they've had an entire season of that, where every match is tight, 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, whatever the case may be, how much do you think that will benefit them once they get into the postseason, that they're accustomed to playing these tight games, and maybe they draw some team that's played either a bunch of blowouts that either they won or they lost?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think teams are going to be wanting to match up against us in the draw, regardless of our record. Just a relentless group, I would say, and they take on the personality of their head coach, and Aaron does a tremendous job. Losing Sid Rigsby has been tough in the middle there. She's had 5 or 6 assists through the season.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little bit of a spark from sophomore Lucy Martin, who entered in as goalie. She had 2 shutouts last week. So sitting at 4-2 in the conference is pretty darn good, but you still get a shot at the top team in the conference, Loveland, which keeps you motivated. Watching Danny Hicks play, I mean, she's just tremendous with the ball on her foot. It's been so much fun watching her. So, got West Claremont tomorrow, and just try to get another win under our belt, quietly, get that one tomorrow, and we're 5-2 in the conference, which is pretty darn good. So they just keep working, nothing can kind of phase them. You talked about they lost over the weekend 2-0 to Alter. But they know that there's just bigger goals, at play here, and they just want to be playing their best soccer as they enter the postseason.
Do they feel the same way that you do, and that once they get into the draw that no one is going to be happy to see them in their draw? Do they have that feeling?
I think they know they can win any night. You've seen them do it time and time again with the tough schedule. They've won some, they've lost some, but they expect to be there playing against anybody that's on their schedule or anyone they get matched up against in the postseason.
Let's talk about the boys, and kind of a different story for the boys. It's been a little bit of a struggle as of late. They've lost 3 straight and been outscored 9-1 in that stretch. So a rough stretch right now, but now they're going to head out. They're going to leave the friendly confines of Vandergrift Stadium. They're going to go for 3 on the road in the next week. What's the mindset right now of this team, given the fact that they are struggling as the regular season's winding down, and knowing that the competition's only getting tougher? Can they use this road trip as kind of a galvanizing point and rally together that, hey, it's all on us. We don't have the comfort of support and fans and all that around us. It's all us right now.
Yeah, I think they need to dig deep here, and they've done it before. They went on a bit of a dip in their schedule there a couple weeks back, and then they had Alter here at home on senior night and grinded out a 1-0 victory. So they've done it before. I've actually been impressed with how the mentality and the approach that the kids have taken every time I've gone out there to a practice or a game. The seriousness, the intensity, the attention to detail, the respect they show for coaches. I mean, this isn't a broken team by any means. They just got to find some success and rally around it. I think one bright spot is junior Kirk Rogers, who's missed a few games early in the year, has fixed 56 saves on the season. So we're struggling to find the net, but he's played really well as well throughout this stretch. So it's tough to tell. It's kind of hidden in there when you don't have a ton of wins, but
sure,
facing a lot of shots, and I think he's been really impressive. So, but they have a stretch coming up here, and as long as they stay intact and motivated together, I think they can find a few more wins.
And as long as you have solid keeping, as you've had with Kirk in net there, you're going to give yourself a shot every night out. And right now, that's all you can ask for at this juncture in the season. Finally, let's talk about volleyball. They keep rolling. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about as well was that win over Mason last week, which we were fortunate enough to broadcast on WatchHSports.tv. Thrilling match it was. You wind up winning in 4 sets after Mason really took it to you in the first set. They rallied, won the final 3. I could see you down below our broadcast point. It looked like I thought you were going to run on the floor and try and.
Yeah, it was electric. Even with the limited staff or limited capacity, it was electric in there.
Yeah.
Really cool, and it was funny because I encouraged some of our teachers and stuff in the building to come out and support or tune in the live stream. So I had some requests, and after that first set, I was like, oh man, they may never come back to a volleyball game. We got beat up pretty good there. And the girls do as they always do, led by Coach Crofton, and they made some adjustments and rallied back, and that was some really, really good volleyball.
Yeah, I was very impressed with how steady he was, and also Maya White playing well beyond her years as a freshman.
I was going to bring her up. Just tremendous. And we've talked about so many on that team, whether it be Lily in the middle or whoever else, and then all of a sudden there's just new people resurrecting and helping the cause. And now you mentioned Maya, and then also Nina Miranda, who's a sophomore, had a great match as well. And they're just top to bottom. We talk about depth and facing that gauntlet. They had 3 games last week. I think they have 4 this week, and they just keep on keeping on. And great group, a lot of depth, and going to be fun to watch. So 4 games left in the ECC. They're I think 12-0 right now, or 13-0 maybe.
13-0, yeah.
Might even be 14. I don't know, but something with a few to go.
Well, they've got a chance to go to 14-0 tonight against Walnut Hills. And actually, you look at the standings, 2-game lead with 4 to go, and it's essentially 3 because you swept Turpin. So, I mean, they can wrap the league up this week if they just do what they've done all year long and just handle business. Are they even paying attention to that right now, or are they starting to turn the page to what they want to accomplish in the postseason? Because obviously that's always the ultimate goal. We saw how much success they had in the GWalk in the years coming into the ECC. So do they even pay attention to the league standings at this point, or are they just focused on here's what we can improve on that will help us get ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, sometimes it's tough for kids to not look ahead. I think they can say they're not, but they may be. I think that coach does a great job of trying to just keep them on the next match, because it doesn't get very, very much easier. I mean, you have, I think, Ursuline and CHCA still on the non-conference before the postseason.
Yep.
I think there's a little bit of coaches kind of excited that we haven't played up in the Dayton area this year in the GWalk, and we're still in that bracket. Mm-hmm. So kind of very quietly going to enter the postseason, and just see what we can do. So not much buzz around us, I don't think. I mean, we have some here in the building, but maybe there is. I don't know. But I think they're looking forward to kind of making a splash in the postseason.
Do they want the buzz, or do they not even care?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they care. I think they kind of like flying under the radar and just focusing on the next game.
One of the things that you mentioned there is you got Ursuline and CHCA coming up. That's a pretty clever bit of scheduling late in the year, because you come into the ECC and off of how good you've been over the last number of years in the GWalk. So I'm sure you had an idea of how good this team could be coming in. Mm-hmm. But talk to us about that and working with the coaching staff to schedule a couple of really good non-conference games late in the regular season as preparation for the playoffs.
Well, this year was really interesting, obviously, with COVID. So we had lost our first match with Walnut, I believe, early in September. And then we had a couple of GWalk matches scheduled. Typically, Miamisburg and Springboro will always try to play here at Lebanon. Mm-hmm. And since they went into their bubble, we needed to hurry up and find some matches. And Coach Crofton and the staff are all about playing the top competition that we can. And that's why we hurried up and tried to get Mason on the schedule, which was, we had 3 matches in 3 days, but that was the only date we could find. And Coach really wanted to challenge our kids and play them. Yep. And then same thing with CHCA. We knew that they were looking, and we just had to try to find a date that worked. And usually in the middle of the season, everyone's going through their conference schedule, so it's tough to find dates. So, but he wanted to play them versus somebody else because it's a really good challenge for our kids and can make us better. So I ended up working out, and we'll probably try to keep a lot of them on the schedule moving forward.
And be a good challenge going forward then if you're able to do that, for sure. At least we're going to give them some publicity here on the show. You know, if they want to fly underneath the radar heading up into the Dayton bracket, all the more power to them. Sneak up and get through there. But we at least want to give them some love here because they've been brilliant in their first year in the ECC. Keith, always great catching up to you. Look forward to doing it again next week.
Yep. As always, I just want to say one thank you quick. Friday night before our football game, we had our booster organization put together an awesome event downtown. Thank you to our cheerleaders. Thank you to our band. They were down there. We sent our team buses off campus there, and then they came back to the stadium. But they had TVs downtown and shut down Broadway over there by Mulberry Plaza. And just an awesome event with everything that's going on to raise some money to get our community together to support the football program. A great win. It was just a great Friday night. It's great to be a part of Lebanon.
It's hard to get a lot of things accomplished without the support of your community, and obviously you've got great support up there. Looking forward to it again next week, Keith.
Take care.
That is Lebanon Athletic Director Keith Pantlin joining us for This Week in Lebanon Warriors Sports here on the all-new LebanonWarriors.com and ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.